Good evening. Welcome to Share Your Light. I am here with a special guest, Ms. Terrica Lynn Smith of Salt Capital Equity Group. She is such an inspirational woman. I was just rereading the Black Enterprise article that she was featured in, talking about her journey from being a child who aged out of the foster care system. And that's something that we need to discuss is, the fact that kids are aging out at the age of 16 and forced to figure things out on their own and figure things out on her own. Did she ever do? Because she went from someone who was homeless and living under a bridge with a child, I want to say, and now owns or has over $30 million in real estate property that she's involved with managing and ownership, building a multi-use, multi-family development project in New Orleans. And there's so many people going through so much right now with COVID, with the pandemic, with life in general. And we all can choose to make excuses, and we can all choose to say that, the odds are stacked against us and we're not going to make it for one reason or another. Or we can choose to do what Miss Terrica did and let that hardship be our mentor and let that hardship bring us through and let us show who we truly are. So welcome, Miss Terrica Lynn, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you. You are such an inspiration. Let's start from the beginning, wherever that is for you, that journey where you decided that things were going to change in your life. If you can start maybe at the foster care situation.
Yeah, so actually during that time, that wasn't the time that I really decided that things were going to change. It was me being homeless, right? So me being in foster care and going through group home and ending up pregnant as a teenage mom, all of that I feel was a part of the process, right? But me being homeless as a young teenager with a child, that right there was my rock bottom. And for me, homelessness was my mentor because I never wanted to experience that again. And so growing up, a lot of us have these stories of, childhood abuse, and nobody want to talk about the pedophile that's in the family, right? They're the big secret, right? People keep them a secret. And for me, I realized that I did not want to continue being that in that same vulnerable position that I found myself in growing up. And so for me, the mindset change came when I was homeless with my son, and I knew that I never wanted to experience that again. So I knew I had to do better for him. I didn't want him to end up in foster care like I went through. I didn't want him to go through all of the trials and errors that I had to go through. So in order for him not to go through those type of issues that I went through growing up, I had to stop being the victim. When I was a child, it was okay for me to be the victim, right? Because I was a child, people should have protected me. But throughout my journey, when I ended up homeless as a young teenage mom, that part was on me. And that part was on me because I was the victim. I was playing a victim, and I was allowing everybody else to keep me victimized because I wasn't forgiving them. And so that defining moment for me living up under that bridge with my son was the time that I say, you know what, enough is enough. I can't do this no more. I can't do it no more. And that's whenever I started, putting my feet on the ground and getting to work.
When you say not be a victim, somebody who has every reason to say that they're a victim, like, what is it? I mean, because it's a lot of people that have to make that choice. Even myself, there's times that I feel like I'm the victim, and it's easier to stay in that victim mindset. What is it that helped you? Like, I know homelessness was the mentor, but how did you make the decision to no longer be a victim?
I
How
had a
can somebody
mindset.
out there that's going through so many troubles right now, they say they don't have a job, they say they don't have any money, their husband left them.
Yes. So I had a mindset shift, right? Like at that moment, that was a mindset shift. I knew that what I was experiencing right now, although it looked it very real, it was not my reality. I could not allow myself to remain in that situation, or I would still be homeless today. if I would have accepted my circumstances and my situation at that particular time and moment, and a lot of us are guilty of that, right? We're guilty of accepting what's going on around us. And the truth of the matter is, this is just a part of the process that we're passing through. It's not meant to stay attached to us. But being that we're human, right? We become attached to the situation, and we become attached to what's going on, and we stay in a place longer than what we need to. My reality wasn't real. I was literally passing through this. I knew I couldn't stay here because when I look around, these people look like they've been out here for years. So if I would have adopted the same mindset that they had, then I would still be up under that bridge. So I had to tell myself, this is not your reality. Although what you're looking at is real right now, but this is not the reality of it being real for you. And that's the mindset we have to give ourselves. You have to have a mindset shift. You cannot allow yourself to remain in the same mindset and expect different results. It won't happen. So if I would have stayed as a victim and I would have been holding my baby and I'm crying, right? And the true story is I'm crying tears and I have all of these emotions falling out of me of anxiety and hurt and pain and abandonment, right? If I would have sat there and said, this is your fault, Mom, because you didn't do this for me and you were supposed to protect me, but you gave me over to your drug dealer at 5 years old. And Dad, this is your fault because you were supposed to be my superhero and you didn't protect me when I need protecting. And this is your fault, the state of Louisiana, because you should have helped me not become a teenage mom. You should have placed me in group homes where these people didn't abuse me. I couldn't stay there. I couldn't allow myself to stay there. One of the things I tell people is this: what helped me is also what hurt me. I built up walls around myself to protect myself because I was so used to getting hurt at an early age. So I didn't want people to hurt me and take advantage of me. So I put these walls up. But those walls eventually had to come down for God to do what he needed to do in my life. If I would have stayed as a victim, those walls would have stayed up and I wouldn't be receiving the overflow of what I'm receiving right now. But we have to tear these walls down. And it sucks. We have a right to feel the anger at the people that hurt us. We have a right to tell people you were wrong for what you did to me. We have a right. But we also have a right to ourselves to say, I forgive you. And it ain't for you. Trust me. It ain't for you. It's for me. And as cliche as that may sound, I know that I need to forgive you for me. Because if I don't, it's going to keep me where I'm at. It's going to keep these walls up. And I know God is trying to do some work in me right now. But he can't do no work in me right now with walls up. He's steady knocking on the door. Terrica, I'm trying to get in. Come on, tear this wall down. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And guess what? I'm like, no, God, I can't. I'm too scared right now. That's what we're guilty of.
Wow. Wow. And you let God in that wall because it had to be him reaching in and telling you when you spent your tax return money to purchase your first property, $5,000, and many people would go out and they would spend that money on, like right now with the stimulus checks, people are spending that money, but you took it and you flipped it into something to create your own reality. Can you tell us a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'll tell you is this: I didn't just go from being homeless up under the bridge to this overnight success, right? This was a journey. This has been a journey for the past 14 years of my life. Okay. My son is turning 17 in a few months. Almost 17 years ago, I was homeless with him. You see what I'm saying? So 14 of those years have been spent turning my life around. Okay. So what I'll say is this: right now, you are receiving the most money that you'll ever receive from the government because of COVID-19. You're getting unemployment that's at its highest that it's ever been. Okay. You're getting stimulus payments that has never even been heard of, along with all the PPPs and all this other stuff that's going on, right? The normal mindset would be, oh my gosh, I have to live off of this. But it's not the right mindset. The mindset should be, how can I put this out there and get more of this coming back to me? Because I know if I put it on my bills right now, listen to me, if I put it on my bills right now, ain't nothing coming back to me. There's no reason why. And look, I get people are unemployed. I'm not talking about that, right? Because I believe there's 4 essential categories that you have to provide in, right? But you got people that's getting the new Jordans right now with stimulus. You got people buying Cadillacs and Mercedes and not thinking of the maintenance and the interest that they about to pay over there for all of these years. It's going to be there way past COVID-19. Those are the people I'm talking to right now, right? Your mindset have to change from being a broke mindset. And you have to ask yourself a question. Do you have a broke mindset? I had a broken mindset because what I didn't share with you was that when I was homeless up under that bridge, I had on a pair of Jordans. My son had on a pair of J's. Where they do that at? How you homeless?
Girl.
Okay. How you homeless and you crying to God because you homeless and you got Jordans on your feet? That's a broke mindset, right? So what I realized was that what I had on my feet, what my son had on his feet was enough for me to be able to go and get a place to live.
Mm.
It was enough. But I had such a broken mindset and I was focused on consuming and taking everything that people have to offer. Oh, I'm going to get them Jordans. I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to get my hair done. And I'm homeless living up under a bridge. So what I did was I knew that as long as I had air in my lungs, I made my son a promise. We'll never go back here. Oh, you don't ever got to worry about this. Okay. I'm going to be your superhero. I'm going to be that superhero in your life that you need, son. I'm going to work my behind off. I don't care if I got to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jobs. At the time, I was young. I was going to do what I needed to do to get my son where he needed to be out of that situation. And so after Hurricane Katrina and all that stuff took place in New Orleans, we actually got relocated to a city called Lafayette, Louisiana. And in Lafayette, Louisiana is when I started into real estate back in 2006. And shortly after I got into real estate, I seen people were making money off of residual income. So I'm like, all right, I have to be able to do that. Listen to me. When you change the circle you're around, when you stop hanging with broke-minded mindset people, then your mindset start becoming fixed. It start becoming better. But we can't have a fixed mindset hanging with broke-minded people, right? Broke-minded people is going to use their income tax and go on vacation. Broke-minded people is going to use their income tax and go get a car that's only going to last to the next February income tax year. Look, I've been there. I'm not judging. I know what we do, right? I know those pain points. It's only going to last until the next income tax season. And guess what? You're going to get another car because your car ain't working, right? So what I'll say is this. When I made that deciding factor in my life that I was not going to allow myself to be poor and I wanted residual income, I got my $5,000 income tax check and I was excited. Okay. I took that $5,000. I didn't keep anything for nothing else. I took the whole thing and I went and I got me a property. I found a property for $5,000. People keep saying, oh, you can't buy property like that no more. No, you can't buy because your mind is broken. You can't buy because you speak in it. If you start speaking, God, can you send me a $5,000 property? Then he'll start opening doors for you. I'm no different than you. We both the child of God, right?
Right.
But you got to access that kingdom access. Some people are afraid to access the kingdom access, but you call yourselves a child of a king. If I'm a child of a king, I'm going to have all the royalties that come with it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I took the $5,000. I invested $3,000 that I had saved up for the repairs, and I was into it for a total of $8,000. To this day, this property has paid me $52,000 plus. And on top of that, I had it appraised and it's worth $60,000. So I have $52,000 worth of equity that I can use to literally go buy more real estate. That's how the rich get richer. They're not doing anything but leveraging. You'll never make enough money to keep up with inflation. So the whole point of the matter is you have to leverage your way to the top. Some people say, oh, don't get over leveraged. There's no such thing as getting over leveraged when you're buying right. There's no such thing. Wow. So what we have to do is we have to change our mindsets from being a consumer and start being a lender. When you start thinking as a lender, then you start acting differently, right? When my money go out, I tell my kids, when my money go out, I like for it to attract more money. So I want it to come back with more money, right? I don't want my money to go out to Netflix and then Netflix go ahead and report their earnings of X point billion dollars and I'm a part of it, but I ain't getting no return on it. I don't want my gym membership to report their earnings of X point some million and they ain't giving me no dividend on it. That's money going out that needs to be coming back to you. So you got to find a way to make enough money where it can replace what you bring in on a monthly basis. And you got to find a way to make your money work for you while you sleeping at night.
Right. That's the key with the residual income right there.
Yes,
Your
right.
money working for you as opposed to you working for the money. So how
Yes.
many properties do you have currently?
Well, we handle over 100 rehabs a year right now, and we're knocking on the door probably 100 plus properties, easy, right? So I have a whole team, right? And we don't just handle my projects, we handle all of our investors, which are up under me, our whole entire portfolio. So together collectively, like I did my portfolio at 30 million, but handling wise, we handle over 100+ million dollars in real estate portfolios.
And who taught you how to do real estate, or did you self-teach?
I self-taught myself.
Wow. And now your daughter is getting into the real estate game. We're talking about like generational wealth. Like your daughter is 15 years old, and I saw that you posted that she got her own property now.
Yes, yes. And I didn't make it easy for her because, like I said, I need for her to know that nothing will be given to you in this world. Nothing. Okay. Not even air. Nothing will be given to you in this world. So I need to know when I shut my eyes, my kids are going to be able to replace their income and not have to work for a dollar, but allow their dollars to work for them. My daughter is very tenacious. I mean, she literally found the house, called the owner, negotiated the deal, called me up, said, I have a deal, but before I show you the deal, you're going to sign a confidentiality agreement. And once you sign that, you're going to also negotiate some equity with me. Oh, yes, like straight up. My daughter is me, except I feel like she times 10. Okay. So I'm like, first of all, I'm impressed. I'm impressed because when you think these kids are not watching you, they are watching you. Okay. And so literally, this homegirl negotiated a deal. She negotiated $2,500 and she negotiated equity in the deal. Now the 2,500 ain't nothing because I normally would pay that to a wholesaler anyway if they find me a deal. But she like, nah, I'm not dumb. I know you're gonna sell that for a profit. So you can pay me a lot up front, or you can give me some equity right now and just pay me a little bit right now. I'm like, let's
Wow.
go. Let's go.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking
The
about.
future is going to be all right.
Yes, yes.
So if somebody is watching that wants to get into real estate, they've been talking about it for years and just never made the move, and they have their stimulus check and their unemployment. Say they have $5,000 or even $8,000. What steps could they take to get into investing?
They can reach out to my team at saltcapitalequitygroup.com, and then we can come up with a game plan with them once they become a member on how to get invested in real estate. It's simple. Like literally, we're helping people. Once you become a member, the membership is $104 a year. I promise I ain't taking y'all money. That's enough to make sure that the portal system is working and my team is paid. It's easy, right? I don't need to make anything off of memberships, but we do have to make enough to make sure that the company is sustained. But what that allows you to do is once you become a member, now you get to invest in all the properties we invest into, right? And it's your choice. If you see a house in our system and you don't like it, you don't have to invest. If you see something you like, invest. It's simple. We make investing easy for you where you don't need no credit, right? We ain't about to redline you to death. You don't need your tax returns. You don't need to have experience. You just need to have a little extra income that you can invest, and we'll do the rest.
So if with what you're describing, you all do all the comps and run the
Yes,
numbers, and then the person invested, they have the $104 a year that they pay, and then so say I find a house on your thing and it's $130,000. So then I put the percentage down, but then it's still in my name, or is it managed under the group?
No, so what happens is this: these are properties we're going to buy anyway, with or without the public, right? Like I said, we buy a lot of real estate. So let's say a property $100,000, okay? I have 100,000. So if nobody go into the system and put $1, I'm still buying this property for $100,000. But what we saw the gap was when people they don't get opportunities like we get, right? And or they don't have the resources to be able to go to the bank, the experience or whatever. So we said, what if we allow them to come in at a small percentage on our deal, have a small ownership share with whatever their down payment is in our deal, pay them a return, and then they take that money and reinvest it whenever they want and make it a dominoes effect. It's called real estate crowdfunding. It's simple, right? So I buy it for 100,000. Let's say we raise only $20,000. Well, I have to put up the $80,000. I still have to fund the deal. So then if somebody put in $20,000, then they're going to get between a 12 and 18% return on their investment when the property sells. That's simple.
So really, a lot of people right now, after everything is happening with the race riots and after George Floyd, everybody's been talking about doing for self, and you've been seeing different financial, people putting money into the pot. This would be an even better way to do that because it's residual and it's something that you own and it's going to continue to pay you over time versus that one time.
Right. So you put it in one time in one house. Once that one house sells, you take it, you get your profits, and you put it back into the system again. Like, we don't float your money throughout all the projects. What we do is we close it out, we shake your hand, we say, nice doing business with you. If you enjoyed it, come back and do it again. If you didn't enjoy it, thank you, we love you, we still moving. That's how we go.
And so this really is a way for us to have our independence. Like, with the Black Lives Matter and everything like that, everybody's been talking about, finally realizing that we really ain't free. We in this country, we have our freedom, but we really aren't free as long as we're dependent on somebody else for our income. So this is really the key to freedom, and to establish generational wealth for our families.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Any last things you want to say to anybody listening?
I just want to say thank you to you for being so tenacious and reaching out and making sure that you had me. I'm so honored to be here with you. And I love your initiative. I researched it as well, and my heart goes out to you because of the work that you're doing. And I need for you to keep on doing it, right? And, if it takes me 30 minutes to sit down and come talk with you and chat it up and inspire others behind the initiative that you're doing, then, I'm here. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Terrica. Thank you. And I might be reaching out to Salt Capital Realty Group for real.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to send you an email so we can talk.
Okay.
Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.